I love discussing stupid random arguments with Erik. It's a blast.
I'm sure we will continue to do that for the rest of this drive.
Well, we'll do that, and I will sing and be obnoxious in your face.
My suggestion is to please get a therapist / counselor / whomever, stick them in the back seat, and then go on a road trip, because I feel like it would provide so many answers that they desperately need. Guys, so it has been way too long since I've uploaded a video on this channel, and I'm very sorry, but we're going to be reacting to another Colleen video that I think was recommended. It's one where she went on a road trip with Erik, apparently. I'm just feeling a little bit confused about the channel because I don't want it to only be about Colleen and Gypsy Rose, but those seem to be the videos that get the most traction, so I'm not sure how to handle, like, wanting to branch into other relationship-related content, but still making sure it's of interest. So if y'all have any suggestions or ideas on other content I could do that might be of interest, let me know. But we are going to be reacting again to Colleen, so let's get to that.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
You're the most annoying version of yourself.
Hello,
Hi.
welcome to Relax the Podcast. I'm Colleen Ballinger, here with my host and probably very soon ex-husband.
You're with
What?
your host?
My host, I'm so tired. My co-host. Well, you are the host. You're the fan fave.
I can't. Okay, so this is a question that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm way off to the side. This is a question that I have. So on rare occasions, sometimes I'll make a joke to my husband about divorce, but it's never in any kind of conflict. It's never in any kind of thing where he could even remotely take it as potentially serious, and I don't even really like joking about it. How common is it for y'all to make jokes with your spouses or significant others about, like, breaking up or divorce and all of that? Like, is that a common joke people make? I remember one time I had a coworker who was saying that her then girlfriend, or their then girlfriend, they would joke about breaking up with them kind of regularly, I think. And something about it just rubbed me the wrong way, because they did end up breaking up. And it's just like, sometimes I worry that people that joke about it consistently, it's because they actually are like, maybe we should. I don't know. Let me know.
Erik's, the person needs to relax today is Erik, because
you're being
wants
road
to
trip
hurt
annoying.
me. He wants to never speak to me again. He's never been more mad at me.
Well, you're just in a mood. I don't know what this mood is.
It's a road trip mood. Honey bun, we're on a road trip.
You ever been on like a road trip with someone and they just turn completely, they're just trying to annoy you, and you're laughing at them, so they think that you're laughing with them, but really you're...
What do you mean turn into someone who wants to annoy you? When was I ever not someone who wants to annoy you, love? That's the real question. We are on a road trip, so my audio listeners out there, if the sound is wonky doodles.
So yet again, that is just with everything that is Colleen. I'm curious if she means that, and she's someone who kind of gets a real kick out of annoying the people around her, because at least she gets attention that way. Or if she recognizes that he's said that she's annoying a lot, so she's just kind of going along with what he's said, even if she doesn't think she's annoying. I don't know. It's interesting.
It's because we're on a road trip, and Erik is holding his little microphone with one hand and driving with the other. Now, before you get on us and say, like, that's not safe, hands on to 110, isn't that what it is?
It's 10 and 2, but yeah.
I mean, are you serious?
What?
She definitely seems like she's in a bad mood.
Like, those are the same numbers. Why'd you correct me when it's the same numbers?
Because you say 10 and 2, you don't say 2 and 10.
But I did say 2 and 10. Works.
Oh, man.
He wants to actually murder me. So anyway, he always drives with one hand on the wheel. I have never seen Erik drive with two hands on the wheel. I don't think ever in my life.
This is how I drive, yeah. But when I took my driving test, I remember you had to use two hands at 10 and 2. And when I did a couple car commercials.
So how do they have the camera mounted? That's another question. Like, it looks like it's handheld because it's kind of doing, I don't know, whatever.
They were really sticklers about that. You had to, and driving, whenever driving in a TV show, you have to have your hands, both hands on the wheel.
Did they also teach you in driving school to push on the brake and up and down on the gas constantly when you're driving on the freeway?
No, I just do it to make you sick. When I make you have
it's your payback for me being so annoying.
Yeah, well, it quiets you. If I can make you car sick, it makes you.
Does it?
Sing song less, like your talk sing. What is that called?
Singing?
No, but you like talk sing everything.
Oh, yeah,
when we're on road trips, you like, for some reason you can't just talk like a normal person. You like talk sing everything.
Where is the water?
Right, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, you should hear the mic check for this podcast episode. Maybe I'll put it in here. Hi, motherfuckers, I am so annoying.
Yeah, I can't tell if she actually enjoys being annoying. So that's something that it's like, you really, if someone talk sings all the time and that's something that really grates on you, hopefully that's something that you'd become aware of in the dating stage. And if you realize, like, look, I just can't deal with this, then probably not the right person for you. Because if someone's talk singing and they genuinely are doing it because they enjoy it, I mean, maybe you could at times say, hey, would you mind like not doing that as much? Maybe, but at the same time, it's just how they express joy, and it's probably a kind of a way of processing things in life. And if it's part of how someone handles things, then you don't want to ask them to not handle things the way they always have when it's not destructive or unkind or anything like that. So
I am so annoying today. Anyway, we just went on a little road trip to Monterey Bay with our children. And if you're watching this episode of Relax, you'll see that our children are not in the back of the car. And that's because my angel of a
where
mother,
are they?
who came with us on this trip, she has them with her right now. She's like, why don't I drive them for a bit so that you guys can podcast? So we're podcasting in peace. But are we podcasting in peace? Because I think I might be more annoying than our children.
On a road?
Whenever people offer to take care of the kids, I'm going to be honest, I'm always curious if they offer or if Colleen asks and then phrases it like they're super helpful. I don't know. I'm just not important. I'm just curious.
Trip, it's pretty equal.
Pretty equal. Yeah, me and the kids, both equally annoying. So, Love, do you want to talk about who needs to relax today, or do you want me to do it?
Since I'm driving, why don't you go first?
Okay. So I have one. The other night, we went to Target late at night.
I wonder if it's going to be the same one as mine.
Excuse
I don't think it's going to be because I wasn't with you when this happened.
Oh, okay.
I left Target to go to another store really quickly and then came back to pick up Erik at Target. So I was in the car alone for 10 minutes, which rarely happens. But if you think I talk and sing less when I'm alone in the car than when I'm with you, it's not true.
I didn't think that, but
That has nothing to do with the story. It's just a fact.
Uh-huh.
So I'm driving.
He's like, yeah,
in
I
a
didn't think that
parking
at
lot,
all.
A busy parking, not a busy parking lot, parking lot. People are telling too many details. I know I'm doing that thing you don't like. I'm sorry. So I'm driving and there's this couple walking in the middle of the parking lot, like not like next to the parked cars, not like near the sidewalk, like literally they are walking where people drive.
were they casually walking?
They were casually walking, like
unbothered?
in front of the car, unbothered, which is fine. You know,
No,
I
it's
wasn't,
not fine.
well, it's fine, whatever. Have your feelings about it, whichever which way. Didn't bother me. I was just kind of like, oh, they're choosing to walk right in front of the car instead of to the side so I can pass them. That's interesting, but didn't think too much of it. The reason it bothered me is because then this happened, and this is what needs to relax. They turn around and look at me as though I was driving on a sidewalk. They gave me the dirtiest look, like, what is she doing in the road in this car? This is where I'm walking. And this has happened to me multiple times. Have you ever had it where like it's a pedestrian clearly walking where they're not supposed to, and I was not driving recklessly. I was not doing anything inappropriate. I was not right up against them. I was going very slow, waiting for them. I had no issue. I wasn't upset. And they looked at me like I was in the wrong place. Has this ever happened to you?
Constantly.
I do believe her on that, and pedestrians can be very annoying. They kind of, I don't know if you have much interaction with Canadian geese in your life, but pedestrians can be very much like Canadian geese, where they will go wherever they want to go, whenever they want to go, and you will yield to them because they're human / they're geese, and you can't hurt them. So too bad for you. I mean, that's how people are sometimes, and it's extremely annoying. And so unfortunately, I fully agree with her on something for once.
My whole life.
I hate that. I'm like, I don't care that you're in the wrong place. Go for it. Pedestrians have the right of way, as you should. I'm in the big, scary vehicle. You don't have any protection. I will wait for you. That does not bother me.
Right.
What bothered me is that they looked at me.
Well, yeah,
I
and
was
they
driving
act
in the store.
Pedestrians,
like
they certainly
Canadian
have
geese.
the right of way, but the right of way does not mean you just to casually lumber across the street while checking your text messages.
Exactly.
I feel like people should cross the street or roadways with a sense of urgency, as if they have the right of way, but they could also be struck by a motor vehicle and should have that sense of urgency. To whereas it drives me crazy when people are walking across the street or across parking lots completely unbothered at a snail's pace while looking at their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And unbothered and unconcerned about the cars around them.
But that's the part of it
goes
that
for
doesn't
people
even
on
bother me that
bicycles,
much.
too.
It's more that then, like, it's as if what you're talking about, someone so unbothered, doesn't care, and then looks at you like, what are you doing here, car, in the street?
Yeah.
That's the part that bothers me. When
Yeah.
they look at you like you did something wrong, I'm like, sir.
The attitude.
I can't take any criticism when I'm driving. If anyone honks at me
Oh, no.
or looks at me or speeds around me in an aggressive way or flashes their lights at me, I cannot take, even if it's constructive criticism on my driving, I can't take it at all. I'm so defensive. Yeah.
I can take constructive criticism, but what really annoys me is if someone flashes or honks or something and I have no idea why. It's like I cannot tell that I accidentally cut you off. Nothing seems to be hanging off my car that you're trying to warn me about. what is your problem? What do you think I did? And it kind of turns into like, I didn't do anything. The problem's with you, whatever. But I try to be mindful, and if I can tell what someone's concerned about, usually I guilt trip myself the rest of the way home. But whatever. Anyway.
Don't take criticism well from strangers.
Or from wives.
There's a bumper sticker that you bought me because we saw.
Wow. I can't believe she is really in a bad mood today. Oh, and he's really trying to just kind of be like, you can see his brain is like stuttering, like, how do I move past what she just said? I do not want to address this. I'm not in the mood. I am driving. Not today, woman. But you can tell he's just like, oh no.
And a meme that's pretty funny. The bumper sticker like says essentially, if you honk at me, I will unalive myself.
Yeah, it's so. I thought that was such a.
It's not on the car currently,
no,
but
of course not.
That's not funny.
It was a joke, and I laughed at it.
I don't like that.
That's who I think needs to relax. Is if you are in the middle of the road, and that's fine, pedestrians. Be careful, be cautious, but don't then give his car a dirty look for being in the road. That's weird to be mad at a car for being where it's supposed to be. If they're being nice and obeying the rules, you know what I mean. But if you're watching this episode, I just have to give a little disclaimer that this car ride is bumpy. We're on a long road, and so it's going to be bumpy and jittery, perhaps. And also, the camera's on a gimbal, so it will randomly turn if we're turning.
There's an
So if the
answer.
car is turning, the camera will turn. It's kind
really?
of bizarre. Yeah. Anyway,
We're on a long road.
What?
That's what you said. I don't know.
What's wrong with that?
I guess it is a long road.
It's a long road.
If you're watching this, we're on a long road, so.
They are so trying to find little ways to make fun of each other and pick at each other, and it's not in a cute way. Like, I understand some couples, like, their teasing is, they just kind of nitpick back and forth, and that's just how they show love. This isn't love, this isn't cute. This is, they're both in a bad mood, and they are showing it. I am not surprised someone suggested I watch this.
Wait, I don't get it.
No.
Did I say that wrong? Is it not called a road?
No, what?
What did I say wrong?
Well, I would just say we're on a long drive. Not a long road.
Oh, I guess that's true. Okay. All right, Levy, who needs to relax for you today?
It's not a big
for
deal.
my relax, I will keep it to the driving theme and say that the other night you were driving, which is rare in our relationship. You were also eating French fries.
Wow. Seriously. Okay, yeah. Bit of advice. If you don't really get along well with someone in everyday life, don't go on a road trip with them. Actually, maybe go to counseling. Period. Road trips are really only successful with someone that you have learned how to have patience and grace and understanding with, because you are stuck inches away from someone for hours. So if you don't really get along well with them, just imagine being stuck inches away from them for hours. Just a good way to think about it.
Fries, which is not rare when I have seen you driving. So you're having a good time, you're playing your music, your tunes, enjoying some French fries, and we come to a four-stop intersection.
Like it's a stop sign?
At a four-way stop sign intersection. And it's nighttime. And you happen to be listening to that Sabrina Carpenter song, I believe it's called Please, Please,
Yes,
Please. And
yes.
there's a clap part in that song. There's a clap, and then there's a clap, clap
Of course.
in that song that you were very enthusiastic about. And it happened to be that part right as you stopped at the stop sign.
Right.
So four-way intersection, you
there's
stop
four
at the
cars.
sign, there's 4 cars, and you get there first and you stop. But
No, I was there third.
Okay, lawyer.
No, I just know because I know the story. I was there third.
Anyway, so you stop. There's other cars there at the intersection, but as opposed to like you taking note of turns or whatever, like you have to do the clap part to
Of
the
course
Sabrina
I have to
Carpenter
do the
song.
clap part.
So you stop at the stop sign, you go clap, and you're dancing around, and then you go clap, clap, and then the car across from us, I believe, seeing you instead of driving. They just see this person dancing and clapping. They are like, well, I guess I'm gonna go. Then you got angry. You're like, hey, it was my turn.
Yeah.
And you were so frustrated. Like, how could they have taken your turn? And I said, because they saw you clapping.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like,
Yeah, four-way stops, I, to this day, don't handle anything well. I tend to generally be the person that's like, let me hold back, let me just make sure everybody's happy if I go. And I mean, it's nice to try to be a considerate driver, but that can confuse people because sometimes people that, like, it might not technically be their turn, they're like, well, I guess they're waiting for me, so I guess I'll go. So really, I mean, sometimes those pauses can be like milliseconds long before the next person's like, okay, I will go now. So if she paused to clap, no wonder someone thought it was their turn to go. She didn't have a right to be mad.
there's no way they could have seen me.
Yes.
That was your excuse
Well,
for your road rage.
so here's the deal, is that I agree with you. I was completely in the wrong because I was distracted and clapping at the stop sign. And then they went. They were like, hey, this person's not going. I'm going. So I had no right to be upset. That was my fault, right? So I agree with you. However, you are very incorrect that you're saying that they could see me.
If Colleen said the words, I had no right to be upset over all the stuff that she caused, that would be an amazing way to start an apology. I wouldn't say that would be the only thing she should say as an apology, but her entitled attitude throughout all of this has just been, I think, the real breaking point for a lot of people. And if she came out and said, I had no right to act the way that I did, that would mean a lot to a lot of people, but probably not going to happen.
Me dancing. It was pitch black, late at night. There was no street lights. Everyone's headlights were on. There's 4 cars that have 4-way stop sign. First car goes, second car goes. It is my turn, but I'm in the middle of the second clap. So the other car goes. They did not go because they saw me dancing and clapping. They went because I was taking too long. So then they went. I had no right to be upset about that because that was my fault. However, they did not see me dancing.
No, you made it into a whole argument about if they
could see you or not. Because then I said they didn't see me, and you said yes they did. You fought it, and you still say that they could see me.
I feel like they could have seen you.
Look at her physicality. She's like trying to get all up on him. She was trying to kind of do the big, like, I'm gonna fight you in this. Like, oh my goodness, they should not be on a road trip together.
Wasn't the wrong there.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny you doing that at an intersection and then having road rage that they took your turn because you had to do the clapping part.
Yeah, that was my fault.
To the chorus.
That was definitely my fault, love. I'm sorry. What's your favorite road trip song? Do you have like a road trip song that's like, this is the one? This is the best road trip song?
Not really. No, I don't know. I remember when I drove across the country by myself, I listened to a lot of. This is when I had CDs.
Right. Oh yeah. Did you burn your own CDs?
Yes, I would burn my own CDs. Of course, I would burn my own CDs.
Oh man, the amount of mixes I had
in my like gateway computer that I think only existed to burn CDs from like
the way that I would memorize what was on mix number 1, mix number 2, mix number 3. Like they all had Sharpie written on them what number mix they were, and I knew I was like, oh, mix number 7's got.
Would it be like party mix or like road trip mix?
Yeah, I guess I had some that were like Broadway mix and like fun mix or like whatever, but there are a lot of them just like mix 1, mix 2, mix 3. Like I wrote in Sharpie on a CD.
Oh, you wouldn't have emotions tied to them? You would just have.
I did that too,
number?
But like I think that for the most part, they were like numbered 1, 2, 3 or something, and then I would like.
Interesting. I wonder if that was a genuine curiosity or if there was a deeper meaning behind what he said, where he's like, "Oh, you didn't have emotions," as in you didn't think with like actual feeling. You just put everything in a line and like completely excluded any real genuine feeling towards it. Colleen, like I could almost see him extrapolating the emotions that she did not put into creating the CDs and saying, yeah, you know what? You don't think through anything with any real emotion. It's just lining everything up the way you want it to be. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too hard about it, but.
I knew which ones were which. So what was your favorite ones to listen to when you went cross country?
I think it was like a lot of like Bob Dylan, like like Americana kind of folksy stuff. I feel like good driving road trip songs would be.
I like the word Americana.
Don't Stop Me Now, Queen.
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, Sabotage.
Wow.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I don't know. Van Morrison, I feel like is good.
Do you have any nightmare road trip stories?
Yeah, if I was telling my husband about something that I created that I thought was a lot of fun, and he looked at me and was like, yeah, that sounds fun, I would never tell him about anything fun ever again.
Stories? Like anything horrible that's happened to you? Like one time, I've obviously done a lot of road trips because I toured a lot. And our tour bus once, I had a bunch of tour buses.
Because yet again, she wants to remind us that she used to be successful. We're aware. And you're not, for good reason. But anyway.
It's problems. But one time our tire exploded or something on the middle of the freeway on a long drive. And we had to Uber to the next city because our bus, the tire exploded. Uh-huh. But have you had any crazy road trip stories like that where something crazy happened?
When I think of road trips, I don't. My sentimental brain goes to being a kid, and we had this big Chevy van, and we never flew anywhere for any vacations. We would just kind of drive, along the East Coast. The Chevy van, there's the 2 captain's chairs in the back, and then there was the way they had the back seat was kind of like a bench. So we would fight over who got to sit in the way back because you could lay down essentially for this 6-7 hour drive.
Wait, was it that car where the back seat was facing the back window?
No. That would be a station wagon.
Okay.
No, it wasn't facing that. We had that too at some point, but no. So it was a bench seat in the back of this van that kind of laid down, so it was almost like a bed for a kid.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It literally. Okay, got it.
It was a bench seat, so you could lay down. You could lay across the whole thing, and so we would fight over that.
How many times is he going to say, "Is a bench seat so you could lay down"? Is a bench seat so you could lay down? Okay, thank you.
I remember lots of traffic and toll booths and things like that going up. I remember like the fear of mine was having to be the one responsible for us having to go to a rest stop to pee. Like that was like a big worry for me on road trips was bladder control.
It still is,
as a child. No, I mean, well, now I'm like driving, I'm in control. Like you always have to pee before me. I feel like usually like 90% of the time, or a kid. So it's like
she was trying to get at him, so he got right back at her on the same topic. Like, I just wish they could like put a couples therapist in the back seat right in the middle between the two of them, and they could be like, okay, so this comment was made and this was the response. Let's dissect this. Like, Colleen and Erik, if you do another road trip, I highly recommend you try that.
It's the onus isn't on me, like the pressure's not on me. But when I was the kid, I didn't want to be the one to have to say like, hey, we have to pull over. But anyway, I remember this one, because you asked for a specific story, and the one that jumped out in my mind is like, I'm in that seat in the back of the van, I have to pee, but at this point we're trying to get onto the George Washington Bridge, and we're at the toll booth there, and the traffic is like insane, and I have to pee worse than I've ever had to pee in my entire life. And this is back in the days of McDonald's supersize meals. Mm-hmm. And I guess we had stopped at McDonald's.
Do they don't have supersize?
I think I know where this is going.
I feel like it's just large. I
don't know.
Can you supersize a meal? Like I don't know. I don't eat that garbage anymore. So I don't. You would know better than me. But so like, I had to pee so bad like that. I was like in tears, I think. Okay. And so my mom was like, "Well, here, just pee in this cup." And I was like, "I can't pee." No, it's like so. She dumped out her supersized Coke. But this is a big cup. This is a giant. Picture the biggest cup you've ever seen in your life. And I'm like in the back. So now I'm in the back of the van. And like I think I'm like on my knees, and I'm peeing into this supersized cup, and it just keeps going, and I'm like to past the brim. It is like what do you call it when it's like
overflowing?
It's made like a dome, like a liquid had like it was. I filled an entire.
That's horrible. Did it spill?
Oh yeah, it's spilling it, and it was just spilling it, slushing everywhere, and then like passed it back up.
Oh no.
And I feel like I still had to pee after, you know.
Oh my god, love. That's horrible.
Yeah, so I feel like that's a big thing. It's like. Bladder control phobia on road trips as a child.
Yeah, you have to pee a lot.
Why did I tell it? Why?
Well,
I don't know. Why did you tell that?
Something. One of the worst pains in the whole entire universe is when you're on a road trip or you're just driving and you just want to make it home. You're like, I have to pee so bad, and you just hold it too long. Have you ever had to hold your pee too long? And it hurts so
What would you like
bad.
Start peeing?
And then your brain betrays you because you're like doing a good job holding it, and it hurts so bad. Like you're in so much pain. You're like, but I'm almost
when you
home.
start peeing, it hurts?
No. I'm talking about when you have to pee and you're holding in the car, and then you see your exit, and it's like your brain knows, oh, I'm almost home, so I'm about to pee, so I'm gonna make it hurt more now. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like when you like are getting off your exit.
I can't believe I'm gonna talk about this on the World Wide Web. I've had it where my body is so accustomed to holding it that then when I'm ready to go to the bathroom, it's like, well, no, you've been telling me to hold it this whole time. I'm just not gonna stop. That is the worst. I thought that's where she was going with it.
And you're like, why does it hurt worse? Like when your body knows I'm going to pee soon. So then it like, do you know what I'm talking about? It starts to get like more painful.
Yeah.
Why are we talking so much about pee? And now I
don't know if it's the same for boys and girls. But I will, if I have to pee so bad that it's gotten to the point where I hurt, which I've heard is really bad for you. Like you're definitely not supposed to do that. But anyway, I'll sit on the toilet and then my body can't remember how to pee.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if that happens with girls too, because like, for me, it's like, then you start to pee and it's like not coming out fast enough, and you're like, no, it could come out faster, like when it kind of, you know, does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
you have to be so bad, but it's just like, yeah, your body's like just doing like a normal pee, and it's like, no, this isn't a normal pee, this is like an explosion. This is like the hose is set to that extreme setting pee.
I will say, as like nails on a chalkboard as this conversation is, at least they are agreeing on something, and they're not insulting each other. So if it takes a conversation all about pee to do that, okay, cool.
I know what you're talking about, but
your brain tricks, I don't know.
My brain just is like, what's peeing mean? I know this is so painful, all you want to do is pee, but I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
It's like I held it so tight for so long that all the muscles are like, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I can't release. I'm not allowed to release. I've been told to not release under any circumstances, and it like won't let go. That's the worst pain, man.
It's a good episode.
We're always talking about pee or poo somewhere in an episode. Okay,
so
true. I looked up a bunch of the comments on our last episode where we revealed your tattoos. We talked about your vasectomy, and the comments were wonderful on that last episode because we told you guys to tell us weird, stupid arguments that
I'm going to skip that episode
with your
for sure.
Spouse or family members about dumb things that don't matter. Okay, and you guys give us a lot of great suggestions that I'm very excited to dive into. But just in general, the comments are great. So we're going to read some right now. Here we go. The first one we're going to read is actually very It's just a nice comment. I want to say hi to this person. It's from Isabel, and she said she's watching this episode from the hospital today, went through surgery. I'm currently alone and getting ready to go to sleep, but thanks to you, I'm not that alone. Thank you.
Aww.
Also, love your aesthetic as a couple. You're so perfectly different, and that's awesome. I just thought that was such a sweet comment, and I hope that you're fully recovered now from being in the hospital and doing well. We're glad we got to like help you.
I would love to be completely wrong about their dynamic, and I would love for them to actually be a really happy couple, but I just don't see it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Anyway, I can't imagine. Well, I would say I can't imagine lying in a hospital bed watching them, but when I was in the hospital, when I was like 8 or 9 or 10, way too old to like Teletubbies, I watched Teletubbies. So my dad was very concerned and confused, and I can't explain it. But for whatever reason, that was my comfort show. Don't judge me. But, okay.
Had some company while you were in the hospital. Hospitals are never very fun.
You're okay.
Caleb, are you ready to get scared?
Okay.
I'm gonna spook
What?
ya. Carol said, make sure you go for your follow-up appointment from the vasectomy. I failed to say in my previous comment that my husband did have a vasectomy, and then 11 months later, I had baby number 4.
No.
He didn't go back for his semen analysis, and it clearly did not work. He had to have the procedure done again.
No. No.
Every man is like,
Yeah, for those that don't know, like they say, like even after you do it,
excuse me,
it's still like 2 months, and then you do like a sperm check, like they give you things to take to a lab 2 months later, so that you can double check that that it worked.
very
and that
pleasant.
Your sperm count is 0 or whatever.
Crazy. Yeah, so you gotta do that.
Don't skip that part.
Interesting.
I love this comment
Oh my
from
God.
Vince, perhaps. I think is who this is from.
Vince perhaps is a cool handle.
I know it's not just Vince and then a bunch of numbers. But Vince said, fun episode, 2 tattoos and Tide tubes. And I was like, what a missed opportunity for a good title of that episode. Okay, so here's an argument. Here's one of those silly arguments I was telling you about. So please keep those coming, by the way, in the comments. Tell us all of your weird, funny arguments you have with your family members, or I'm not talking real fights. I mean, unless you really need to vent about those, but like.
YouTube is not the place.
So this one.
Colleen.
I hope 954 said, I've got an argument that plays off of the chili conversation, because last week we were talking about chili is soup or not. A coworker feels that to qualify as a dinner, it must be warm. I think this is craziness. What about a salad, sandwich, cereal for dinner? And I read this and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. And then I was like, wait a minute. I think I feel the same way.
I would also like to agree that it needs to be warm, depending if it's a thing that is supposed to be warmed, especially as a dinner, it should be warmed. My husband will eat anything and everything cold. I mean, he will also heat things up, but he likes a lot of things cold. He prefers pizza cold. I'm just going to leave it at that.
That for it to be a dinner, it has to be hot food?
I think so. I think anything else is like I ate a snack for dinner. You know, if I ate cereal for dinner or if I ate like a salad for dinner, I'd be like,
leftover half of a sandwich
I'd be
dinner.
like, I'm obviously, that wasn't dinner. I ate food and I'm full, but it wasn't dinner. Like dinner to me is warm. I think I actually think that, even though like I will eat food at the same time that's cold. To me, that wasn't a dinner. It was like I ate something weird tonight.
Well, I'm fine with that being my dinner. But I wouldn't say it's like I made dinner. But I'm fine with like.
Would you
like
say I
leftovers?
had dinner?
I had dinner. I'm just gonna have this leftover. So it's.
I wouldn't say I had dinner. I would say like, well, I had a bowl of cereal. I would never say.
So she's
like,
saying
yeah,
dinner
I had
needs
dinner,
to be kind of an
okay,
event.
so when we were in school, there was like, did you bring
Prepared.
lunch, or are you having hot lunch? Would you consider you didn't have lunch if you had the lunch from home?
No, because lunch
you would have to eat a hot
lunch is cold. I think a hot lunch is kind of weird, unless it's like fries and like a burger. I guess that makes sense. But like, I wouldn't say it's lunch is very commonly
But they
typically cold.
But they would call it hot lunch.
Yeah, from the cafeteria.
Right. Yeah.
I will say this couple finds the most unusual things to discuss, as we all know. And part of me is like, this is the most boring conversation ever. But part of me, which is why I then get wrapped into them, is also like, I've never actually considered whether dinner should always be warm and whether lunch should generally be cold. That is a very interesting thought. I kind of don't mind pondering it. And if one is right, what makes that correct? And that's probably not considered correct around the world. So what do other cultures... See, it annoys me that I find this to be so interesting to think about.
Dinner's got to be warm though. To me, it makes no logical sense. I agree that it's actually dumb. Like because
I'm gonna agree too. I'm gonna say dinner if dinner's warm, because you're not gonna go out to a restaurant for dinner and only have cold things.
No, some people might. I mean, like sushi or
sushi. Yeah.
I guess that's a dinner.
But then you're always hungry 2 hours later, and your stomach kind of hurts. For me,
I don't know. I think I still think that if I were to eat something like a sandwich at dinner time, I can't even say it right now.
You didn't even really have dinner.
I ate a sandwich at dinner time, is what I would say. I would not say I had a sandwich for dinner. That's so weird.
So I have a question. Is she saying that it needs to be warm and that's what makes it dinner, or the type of food as well is what makes it dinner? Because you could have a sandwich, like a sub type thing, that's put in the oven and then it's warm. So does that mean that that's an okay dinner as long as it's warm? Or because it's a sub, it has to be lunch even if it's warm? Why are we talking about this? This is not my fault. It's not my fault.
Why is that like that? Anyway, I thought that was an interesting one. I've never thought about that before. This blew my mind. So last week we talked about how one of the arguments that was brought up was brushing your teeth in cold or hot water. And obviously Eric and I were like, cold, unless you have a super teeth sensitivity, which would make sense. Like, and cold water hurts your teeth. Like, I would never wash my teeth in hot water.
Teeth with hot water by accident. Like I hit the wrong faucet.
Yeah.
And it's
just like you want to immediately throw up.
Yeah, it's like the worst. Yeah.
But I don't know about that.
Okay, this was interesting to me. A cause Ziabo. Okay, I don't even know why I tried to say your name, but my teeth are not sensitive, but brushing with cold water feels so wrong. Like I'm brushing teeth with some kind of a cold drink, but with warm water, it's like a bath for my mouth, and it feels much more pleasant and clean. And then I saw another comment that said something about it being clean. And then this one says, from Jojo Fism, said, I brush my teeth with hot or warm water. I feel like it's more clean. When you wash your dishes with cold water, it's hard to get the gunk off, but when you wash them with hot water, it comes off easier.
I was about to say, I could understand the logic because the same with washing hands. I prefer to, I mean, I don't always do it, but like preference would be for warmer water for washing hands because it just feels like it can get into things and just clean them more deeply. So I can understand the logic. This is so weird. I might consider washing my teeth with warm water now. Interesting. Thank you so much, Colleen. You may have just changed the rest of my life.
My logic with brushing with hot water. I thought that was very interesting to put it with that perspective because while I still never wash my teeth with hot water, that makes sense to me. Now I think I'm the crazy one. Now I'm like, yeah, I would way rather wash with cold, but now I understand why.
When I'm washing dishes, or like back when I was like washing out like bottles, like
you want
it to be hot water.
Of course you want hot because it kills the germs and stuff. So I'm like, why would you wash your? I don't know. I think
but in your mouth, doesn't it feel like hot water like encourages germs? Like germs are stoked to like have like nice warm.
I don't know the science of germs. Sorry.
What would a dentist recommend? What do dentists recommend?
Yeah, if you're a dentist, can you leave a comment? Because a lot of dentists listen to our podcast.
Like 90% of dentists.
Really?
Okay, so here's a good one. Me and my husband got in a very heated discussion about in what order we dry ourselves after the shower. He just goes from the feet all the way up, while I got a system. He thinks I'm crazy that I have to dry myself in that specific way. Well, I just think about what stuff he has dried before he gets to his face last. Good point. I definitely have a system.
Go tell me your system.
Well, I've never thought about what your system might be. Because I think we've talked about in which order you wash your body in the shower and stuff like that. Like what you wash first and which leg you put the pants in first and which shoe you put on first. And, but how you dry yourself out of the shower,
So this concept is what makes a marriage kind of just adorable, is that you are two individuals, as I've said before, you're two individuals joining your life together. Everyone knows that. Or, I mean, I guess technically a long-term relationship, but I'll just say marriage. You innately start to get into these random conversations that you've probably never had with a single person because you are doing your everyday life together every single day. And so innately, you're going to run into these little isms and ways of doing things that no one else in the world would even need to wonder or have any kind of reason to have any curiosity about. But when you're doing everyday life with each other every single day, eventually you're just going to start to talk about and learn and notice all these little mini things. And that can be what creates some of the dumbest arguments on earth. But it can also just kind of be a fun part of life of just like, interesting. I wouldn't do it that way. You know, you really get to see into someone's life.
So I love these conversations. Okay, what I do is I have hair, a lot of hair on my top of my head. So first thing I do is flip my head upside down. And
With a wet face?
Everything's wet.
Your face is wet? Okay.
My whole body's wet. Because there's no point in drying my body with long, or even my short hair. There's so much of it, it will just get it all wet again.
Yes.
My hair's got to be the first to go. So I'll stay in the shower, I don't get out of the shower. I grab a towel and I'm in the shower so I can stay warm.
Yes.
Flip my head down.
I agree.
And then I dry my hair upside down, and if I have two towels, I'll wrap up my hair, whatever, and then use the other towel to dry my body. But if I only have the one towel, I'll get my...
I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I do the laundry, so that's why I don't go with two towels. But if there's ever been a time in life where I've had a towel for my head and a towel for my body, it feels like the most luxurious experience ever. I don't know why. It's so silly.
My hair dry enough that it's not going to drip on me. And then I'm trying to think how I do it. Then I go down, so then I do my face and my neck and my shoulders and my arms, and then I go down. I go all the way down my body. So I start with my hair, and then once my hair is dry enough that it's not going to drip, then I go like face, arms, back, whatever, and then go all the way down.
Of course, yeah.
So what do you do?
That makes sense to me.
Logical.
Well, face first.
Okay.
Face, then hair, then shoulders, armpits, and then down.
My face doesn't get that wet though. I feel like you're the one who faces the shower head, so your face
doesn't
is
get that wet in the
soaked.
shower. It's an insane thing to say. What do you mean? Your face? Why do you wash your face?
Well, like I feel like the face isn't that hard to like get it drier because like if you have water in your face, you just like can wipe it and then it's not as wet. Like with your hands, like you don't even need a towel. Like
What?
Of all the things that are on your body that are like the wettest, like your hair.
This couple really needs to win an award for having long, ongoing conversations about the smallest details of life. Be that good, be that bad, be that neutral. They have the longest conversations about details that I would never think to discuss at length in this way.
Hair is the
Just
wettest.
dry your face with your wet face with your wet hands.
Well, I just meant like no, like you dry your face with a towel, but like you can wipe off the wetness
We're
quickly.
talking about like the nice clean towel like on your face and your face first, then hair so that there's no like dripping from there, and then down, and then so then you're dry, and then what do you do?
Well,
Let's answer the question.
I wrap my towel
Answer
around
the
my body.
question.
Or and then
Oh,
well, unless my clothes are right there. If my clothes
so
are
your
right
clothes
there.
are right there. What's happening?
Well, immediate underwear and shirt and pants, whatever. You know.
So there's no like deodorant before shirt.
No, I put my clothes on first.
No, because
gotta
you get
get
the
completely dressed.
I
deodorant
gotta
on the
get
shirt.
completely dressed. I am viciously uncomfortable with nudity. Like I'm very uncomfortable being naked.
Because sometimes I'll dry.
Okay. So I don't want to make assumptions that I have no proof for. So I don't want to say this in an insensitive way. Does anyone know if it is common for the average person to be viciously uncomfortable with being naked? I've heard of it before. I would like to know if there are thoughts on whether or not that is common or if that could be indicative of something not so wonderful. I'll just leave it at that.
It's just like I'll just dry off completely, but then I'll do all that other stuff, and then I'll.
You
So I'm like
will walk around your
fully
bathroom
in the
fully
bathroom.
nude.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's crazy.
Putting
isn't
on
it?
deodorant. No, I don't think it's crazy. I'm sure there's a lot of people do
Do you
that.
want to know the weirdest feeling?
I'm
Is if-
so curious what you're
if,
what
is,
you're
if,
about to
is
say.
if you like, because I feel like there's nothing worse. If you like, so say I like didn't bring everything into the bathroom, or like didn't have everything, but if you put on like just a shirt,
Oh, for a dude, that's even worse.
I feel like
For a girl,
there's nothing worse than a bottomless.
No, I think there's something worse. Nothing
What?
but socks.
No, nothing but socks.
I
No,
know.
I don't.
There's nothing more hilarious than just a shirt. I'm not going to say anything else, but I just think it's absolutely hilarious.
That's worse than
Just a
than the
shirt.
feeling of just a t-shirt and nothing else. I feel like that's when
For a
like the
guy,
most,
for a girl, I feel like that's not
like the
weird.
most vulnerable. Like if you were to like, I could feel like I could be more embarrassed than if you walked into a bathroom and I was wearing, like I'd rather be fully naked than just wearing a t-shirt and be bottomless. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Oh my god, that is horrifying.
Like in any circumstance, like if
I'd
if
rather
you're
be-
like you have to streak across this like soccer field, like the middle of the game, I would rather do it fully nude than just bottomless.
I'd rather be
yeah,
caught on
agreed.
the toilet with diarrhea.
Right? Yeah,
than, like-
yeah. Then yeah, that's.
Why?
Oh my god,
So
that's
I
so
Bringing
funny.
poop
got my
in,
face first,
always.
then hair, then work my way down.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we both go down. We both go from the top to the
Who's
bottom.
starting from the bottom? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Your husband has
Not
got
gonna-
some doodle on his face. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, come on.
That's a
The
really good topic. I
kid
can talk about that for a
humor.
long time. I feel like I have so many follow-up questions. Have you ever gotten out of the shower in the middle of a shower because like you forgot something in the shower? Like there's been times where I'm like out of shampoo and I bought new shampoo and I put it in the bathroom but not in the shower or something, or like my
Yeah.
razor, I need a new razor.
That's not a comfortable feeling.
And you have to get out of the shower soaking wet in the middle of the shower
Yeah,
to
it's
get
awful.
the thing. And you like do that awkward don't slip sprint across the bathroom to get to the thing you need.
Uh-huh.
That is
As I've gotten older,
tragic.
I've gotten like over that less. Like also like our water heater broke recently, so we haven't had hot
we
water
need to talk about that.
for like 2 weeks. But you just made me
Ooh.
think of something that happens to me more often than I'd like to admit somehow. But like a lot of times, like I'll take like this has happened so many times. I'll take a shower and then I'll get out of the shower and realize there are no towels.
Oh,
Oh,
Like,
that's
what do you use?
And
bad.
that's such a deflating
Clothes?
feeling. I have dried myself off with hand towels.
Yeah.
yeah, me
Yes.
too.
Like
Clothes. I've
clothes,
done
like
dry-
clothes.
Yeah, I've done the crazy things too like that. But I will say in Europe, I don't know if it's all over Europe. I can't remember what country I was in. I've been to a few of them, but it's been a long time. Their regular sized towels were far smaller than ours. So I would say a European, let me know if I'm wrong if there's any European viewers, European would probably be more okay with using a hand towel. Us Americans like everything huge. Just let's not take that anywhere it shouldn't be. But
Clothes.
Clothes, yeah, I've done
I the other week had to dry myself off after a shower with a dress shirt. You know what I mean? Like that.
Ooh,
thin, like,
that wouldn't
that kind
even
of material
work.
just move the water around. Like it wouldn't actually dry.
Yeah, no,
you.
it did just kind of, and then I just kind of got dressed wet.
Wet.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I wondered if that's ever happened. What if
Oh,
you dried
that's-
yourself off with?
Yeah, same as you. Just like clothes, a hand towel.
That's I think the worst
Yeah, that is the
feeling.
worst.
Then having to get out of the shower. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But having to dry myself off with like a pair of boxers.
Oh my.
is like-
Hopefully clean ones.
This camera
Yes.
movement
Oh my
is
God.
not
Okay, here's another comment
great.
from Sage. If you had to look at the days of the week as odd or even numbers, are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday odd or even? This is an obvious answer.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, are those odd or
they
even?
Even numbers.
Of course they're even
I'm
numbers.
so glad we're not gonna fight
Tuesday
over
and
this.
Thursday are the most odd.
Yeah.
He's like,
Like,
yeah, those
so
are
thank
obvious.
God we're avoiding fighting for the last bit of this podcast because we've been spending the first half of it hating each other. Oh my word.
What do you think about Saturday and Sunday?
They're neutral. They're, you know,
Yeah.
they're just,
I would
they're
say
like
even.
just chill. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say they're not even or odd. They're just there. They just exist.
Prime.
Yeah, they're just great. Okay, so here's another one I've got. I think we're gonna end on this one maybe. Tyler said, when I lived in a house and had 5 housemates, we one night had an argument about where the condiments go in the fridge. This started an uproar in the house that translated to the entire college. Where do you put the condiments? Is it
If you're Gypsy Rose, you just throw them all out.
on the door or in the door?
What do you mean on the door or in the door? What do you mean?
When you put like, if
What's the
you say where's,
difference?
well, what do you say? Like if I say, hey, where's
In the
the
door-
ketchup?
in the door.
Of course it's in the door.
Well, are you talking about just the verbiage? Just
Some
like,
people say on the door.
You put them on the door?
Yes, that's
No,
what.
It's within. It's within.
We're in a roundabout right now, and what the camera's trying to do to like try to like the gimbal is like trying so hard
It's
to.
within the shelving.
It's like,
It's
established
in
within the
the
door.
door.
It's not on. It's not on the door.
Oh my gosh, this reminds me of a conversation I had the other day. My friend the other day was like, hey, if you get groceries, like, and you take them in the house, what do you do with the groceries? So what if I said, what are you gonna do with the groceries? What would you say about the groceries that are on the bags that you just bought?
What do I
Yeah,
do?
what do
with
you do
them?
with your groceries?
I don't.
When you take them home, you.
I put them away.
Yeah, you put them away.
Well, yeah, I'll put the bags on like the counter, and I'll make sure to first put the refrigerated stuff.
Yeah, but just the general term is you put them away. Like that's what you say. I'm gonna put the groceries.
Is she
away,
going to say put
right?
them up?
Yeah.
That's what you say.
As opposed to what?
That's what's crazy. Is my friend said he puts them up.
Yep. I knew she was going to say
I'm gonna
that.
put the
That
groceries
is, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a Southern thing. When I moved to Charleston, people were saying put things up, and I'm like, you're putting it away. It's not going up necessarily. Maybe you're putting it up and away, but it's away. It's not. I've had to get over my confusion with that. There are Southernisms that it's just like, all right, you do you. I married into a Southern family. Love y'all. If you want to put stuff up, put it up. It's fine. If you want to cut the light off, cut the light off. It's not going to be turning it off. It's cutting it off. I will love you despite your strange use of the English language.
Up where?
Exactly. I was like, I've never heard that
That's not a
before
thing.
in my life.
That's not a.
And I wonder if anyone else says that. Put them
No.
up. I'm gonna put them up.
Up. No.
Up where?
Like up in the cabinets.
Exactly.
I don't know.
No,
I thought
don't
that was
think-
fascinating.
I don't think anybody says that.
Oh, they
Well,
do.
My friend does.
They do.
Anyway, there are so many wonderful, hilarious arguments that you guys proposed to us in the comments last time. So please do that again because I was like laughing at some of the what they didn't like that I said proposed. I'm sorry that you guys
No, I like it.
commented about just funny arguments. So keep those coming because I love discussing stupid random arguments with Erik. It's a blast.
I'm sure we will continue to do that for the rest of this drive.
I'm sure. Well, we'll do that, and I will sing and be obnoxious in your face.
You have to put in your mic check.
I'll.
My suggestion is to please get a therapist / counselor / whomever, stick them in the back seat, and then go on a road trip because I feel like it would provide so many answers that they desperately need. Anyway.
See if I can remember to do that. Hopefully, I
I'm reminding you right now.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for watching. And we're going to continue our road trip, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Is that the end?
Bye. We're on a road trip.
My video's not done.
Goodbye.
It's not done.
This is truly what it's gonna be like for the next 2 hours for
It's
me.
going to be like this for longer than 2 hours. It's going to be like this for the rest of your life.
Oh, she just...
And she's so...
Okay, so she just sings at the end. Wow, that poor man. Anyway, okay. Well, that was not quite as bad as I was thinking, but it was very entertaining. Hopefully it was entertaining to y'all. Alrighty, I will see you in the next video, whatever it might be. Alright, thanks for your patience and how long it took me to upload another video.